Hello and welcome back to Third Degree Food. I am Sam Caterer and today is a Saturday, which means I've got my mum and dad popping over for a cup of tea and a slice of cake after they've been to the garden centre. And what better cake to put together than the super simple but incredibly delicious Country Farmhouse Fruit Cake. Very few ingredients, as you can see. We've got here about 220 grams of mixed fruit with some glass cherries chopped up on the top. We've got some self-raising flour, 200 grams. We've got 100 grams of ground almonds. We've got 150 grams of caster sugar, which we're going to supplement with some vanilla essence. If you watch my videos on ice cream, you know that I've worked out a way to reduce the amount of sugar content in all of my dishes by using extra vanilla essence. It's a really good little tip. We've got 4 eggs, organic eggs of course, and we've got some Yo Valley organic unsalted butter, 200 grams. We've got some flaked almonds to top off the cake, with a little bit of sugar as well and some almond essence. Like I say, super simple to make, and we're going to start right now. So what we're going to do is going to put our sugar into a bowl, and then we're going to mix that with our butter. Just chuck it in there. And I'm going to make this into a nice little cream. We're going to cream up this sugar and butter mix. You want your butter at room temperature so it mixes a little bit better and a little bit easier. Okay, we are good there. This is what you want before you add your eggs. So we're going to add our eggs 2 at a time. First egg in, because you don't want it to split the mixture. Okay. Get them mixed into the butter and the sugar. This cake is super simple to make. I've got to say, 10 minutes and you've got the cake in the oven. Okay, next 2 eggs, in we go. I'm going to show you a couple of little tips and tricks regarding the fruit to stop it sinking, and also how to make your greaseproof paper liner for your tin. It's really simple. Once you know how, it's a really good method. Okay, second lot of eggs in there. I'm going to mix these in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a splash of the vanilla extract. Get that in there. And our almond extract, just a teaspoon in there. And we want to get a pinch of salt. I like using this Portuguese sea salt, the flor de sal, just to augment the balance of the sweetness against the butter and the sugar, because we are using unsalted butter. Just blend that in a little bit. Now we're going to want to sieve in our flour, it's just so it adds a nice little aeration to the cake, so it's just nice and light. So I'm just going to grab a sieve. Now this is self-raising flour, so what we're going to do is save a little bit of this back so we can coat our mixed fruit so it stops it sinking in the cake. So we'll just sieve this in here for now. Then we're going to add our ground almonds. Okay, and then we're going to mix this in. Just gently, we don't want to over whisk the flour, because that will make it non-light. That will do. And we'll get our spatula and just get all the sides of this cake in. Okay. Now it's time for our fruit. Now what we're going to do is coat our fruit in the remaining self-raising flour. And what this does is it stops the fruit sinking in the cake. So you get fruit all the way through the layers of the cake. Just stir that in, break up the glass cherries. Just give them a nice coating. It's a good little tip this, it makes your cakes full of body. Okay. Give them a good old turn in the flour. Okay, then we're going to add our fruit to our mixture over here. Pop that in the sink. And using the whisk, sounds quite brutal, but it gets a really nice mixture of the fruit into the cake and it breaks it up some of the fruit that's stuck together. So nice and slow. Just incorporate all that fruit into the mixture. And we're ready to put into our cake tin. So we'll just put that to one side. Now, we have our cake tin and we have our greaseproof paper. So you want your greaseproof paper to be able to come up the sides of your tin. And there's a very good method of folding this so it works every time. Just like you're making an aeroplane, just fold your paper like so. Get the edges nicely. And then you want to fold it back on itself like so. You see here the angles. And then you want to fold in half again. And then fold in half again. And then that will do for now, because what we're going to do is measure from the center of the cake dish, just from here, and account for the side of the tin. So I think that will do for there. Okay, now we're going to have to cut just a couple of slivers in this liner, just like that. That's one side. Unravel it and then put into your cake tin. And as you can see, it is now lined, ready to receive the cake mixture. So what we're going to do is put our cake mixture into our tin and then put it into the oven, which is at the moment 150 degrees, where the oven's going to roll there with the cake in it for about an hour. So we're going to empty our cake mixture into our cake tin. Get it all in there. To one side. And you want to push the cake mixture right to the edges of the tin. It will self-level pretty much in the oven anyway, because the butter's going to melt even more. It's going to become like a liquid, then it becomes a cake. Remember, you can catch us on all our social medias, thirddegreefood.com. Head over to, obviously, Instagram, Facebook, give us a little follow. And of course, like and subscribe and hit the notification bell down below if you'd be so kind. Every little bit of help goes a very, very long way. Okay, so we've got our cake in the tin. Now we need to dress the cake just a little bit so it looks a bit fancy. So we're going to grab a little bit of sugar, first and foremostly, and just sprinkle over the top with some granulated sugar, just to give it a bit of crunch, maybe a touch more. That's nice. And then we get our flaked almonds, and we just liberally apply these over the top. Change the angle of the cake so you get all the gaps. Got about 100 grams of almond flaked almonds. You can use chopped almonds as well. Okay, and I picked up these this morning from the local Italian deli. They just got them in. They dress the cake really nice. They're like really fine tubes of sugar. They're absolutely fantastic, and they make the cake look just that little bit special. So we'll drop a few of those over the top. Over here. Just finishes the cake off really nicely, I think. And of course I put them in a little dish with a vanilla pod so they get that sort of slight essence of vanilla as well. Just a little bit more. Just on top of the cake. And this would just finish it off just really nicely, so. Okay. Our cake is ready to go into the oven. I'm going to put her in there for about 1 hour at 150 degrees, and then we're going to take it out and let it chill, and it'll be ready to eat with a nice cup of tea. So in the oven we go. For 1 hour. I'll see you very shortly. As you can hear, the cake is now ready. We need to take it out of the oven and rest it on our cooling rack here for about 20 minutes to half an hour or so, and then we're good to go. Mum and Dad are on the way. I'm going to put the kettle on, and the cake is nearly ready to eat. So without further ado, let's get it out of the oven and let it rest on the cooling rack. Just take this out over here. Smells absolutely divine. Look at that cake. Absolutely delicious. Okay, so we're going to put the cake down over here. So we're going to release the tin, place that over there, fold back the baking parchment. Look at that gorgeous cake, absolutely divine. And then we're going to place it on the cooling rack. I'll move that out of the way. And let that sit there for about 20 minutes. Oh, it tastes absolutely fantastic. Whilst we let it cool. And then once it's cooled, we're going to put the knife in the cake and have a nice decent slice. So, tea is most certainly up. It's just sitting here brewing nicely, ready to be poured into the cup. Mum and Dad are about 10 minutes away, which means one thing. It's now time to try the fruit cake of our labour. So let's grab a knife and get into the cake, shall we? A nice little slice coming my way. Just cut through the cake there. And another swift incision there. Oh, smells incredible. The aromas coming through the kitchen are just incredible. So we're going to take a little slice of the cake and put this over here. Nicely, you see this, the fruit has just sat in the cake really nicely as well. Pour myself a nice little cup of tea. And we are good to go. Give it a little stir. Okay. That is so good. The almonds coming through there, the fruit, lovely and juicy. Need one more bite of that. You see what I mean about the fruit? Sorry for talking my mouth full. The fruit just sitting in the cake. That's exactly what you want. If you dust your fruit with the flour, that is absolutely incredible. Delicious cake. If you dust your fruit with the flour before you add it to the mix, it just sits really nicely. It doesn't sink to the bottom. Mum and Dad are in for a right treat. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy the rest of this. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Sam Caterer. This has been Third Degree Food, and you've been watching how to make Country Farmhouse Fruit Cake. Enjoy.